Lincoln County Board of Education on July 1st, 2024. We are in the central office. And we want to start the meeting with the swearing in of our new board members. Ms. Robin, come forward, please.
So just go out front here.
Frank, do I need to do?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Do too.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
I'm not new, I'm just old, but I'll.
And pictures are allowed.
Right hand.
I, Steve Burke, do solemnly swear that I would support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of member of the Lincoln County Board of Education to the best of my skill and judgment, so help me God.
Did you want to sign? You may.
Congratulations, guys.
thank you, Robin.
You're now officially to blame.
Mr. Cartwright, at this time, if you'd be willing to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's interesting, two of these board members, I handed their high school diploma to.
He's telling how old he is, boys.
He's young.
These two. Yeah,
They've handed me mine.
well, there you go.
You're still up.
All right.
Lord,
At this
you
point-
youngins.
I'd like to entertain a motion and a second to proceed with the election of officers.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a second by Mr. Bell or a motion by Mr. Bell and a second by Ms. Dr. Burns. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right. The floor is now open for nominations. So we have a nomination for president.
I nominate Mr. David Bell.
I second.
Mr. Bell, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
All right. For president, we have a nomination or closed for Mr. David Bell. Motion's been granted and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Bell.
And will take over from this point.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barnett. All right, at this time, the floor will be open for nominations for vice president.
I nominate Jeremy Wilson.
Jeremy Wilson's been nominated for vice president,
I second.
and Cartwright seconds. All in favor say aye. Well, first of all, is there any other nominations? If not, I ask the nominations be closed. Do I get a second?
I second it.
Okay. All in favor of Jeremy Wilson as vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the floor will be open for nominations to the Mountain State Educational Service Cooperative Organization. May need to explain this for a minute. Mountain State Consortium is a organization that came up several years ago. It provides services to the counties. Several counties may go together and hire a lawyer, which we have done. And this lawyer is paid for by the 4 or 5 counties. We split the cost. We do that for several. Technology is one of the areas that we do that, communication, PR people. We also hire employees through that organization. Sometimes I think we probably got 5 or 6 hired The beauty of hiring those people is that if you don't think they're going to be, that position's going to be very long in term nature, you hire them through that organization and they're technically an employee of that organization. So when it comes time to do away with the program or do away with those slots, it doesn't require hearings and bumping seniority wise and that kind of thing. It's pretty convenient at times. So that organization is there. They meet once a month on Wednesdays.
10 o'clock,
What time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. And for a couple hours and then they feed you lunch.
Yes,
So you're out of there by 1 generally.
yes.
Okay. In my time on the board, Jody Pastori was a representative and then Donna Martin when she came on after Jody left. That means that is there. Good time to have lunch. It's a business organization. You can make a lot of contacts.
They also provide services to our, they can provide training services to our staff, both service and professional. Things such as our safety training, our CPR, first aid, things of that nature. And they're also a purchasing cooperative. So a lot of times when if we're going to make a purchase, let's say technology purchase, and we're buying flat screens or things of that nature. Sometimes what they can do, they can go ahead and work with that vendor and get the cost down to such that the bid process is not necessary if we buy through a cooperative. And majority of the time, it saves us a great deal of money by purchasing through a cooperative because they can buy in bulk. It's not just us that are buying. So it's a very worthwhile situation. I don't know if some of you remember years and years ago, there used to be an organization called RESA.
Mhm.
Well, when RESA's disbanded, these organizations kind of spring up, these cooperatives. So there's one here, there's one in the northern part of the state, and they offer different things. They're working currently with Marshall University to offer a master's degree program in school administration at about a third of the cost. So they do provide a lot of services. It's very worthwhile for us.
yeah, now the situation has been, and I don't think it's changed, that Butchie finds it impossible to attend. It's almost that way for me, and now you three work. So, this isn't an easy thing to get a representative unless you really want to do this. If it's a, well, I don't know how to say this, but if you would like to do it, just let us know.
Yeah. If you have vacation days you could take instead of just taking a day where you didn't get paid.
Where do they meet? Charleston?
Dunbar.
Dunbar,
Okay. I could likely do it.
Oh, that would be good.
You said it's monthly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monthly on Wednesdays.
And it's pretty interesting because you have other counties, that you meet people from and and you kind of see what they're doing, and it's a good thing.
And this cooperative, it's Wayne County, us, Logan, Boone, and
Putnam,
Wyoming.
Wyoming,
Wow.
I didn't remember. It used to be.
Is there anyone else interested in it besides Daniel? If not, I'll make a motion that we nominate Daniel Cartwright to be our Mountain State representative. And this is for 2 years, Daniel, until you just decide you don't want it, then somebody else will.
I second.
Yeah, you'll like it, Daniel. You learn a lot of
Bell
things.
makes a
and meet a lot of
motion.
people.
Wilson seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And with that, we've completed the organizational part of this meeting. I'll entertain a motion a second to adjourn this portion so we can go into regular
I'll
session.
make that motion.
Burns makes the motion.
I'll second.
Cartwright seconds. The time is 6:08. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And this meeting is adjourned. Now we'll start the next one. Call to order the regular session of Monday, July 1 at the central office in Hamlin. We have no public comment, I'm assuming. We have the administrative portion of the meeting, a meeting schedule, and again, we need to talk about this one. There's only 3 of you that work, and our meetings have been at 7 o'clock. We moved them to 6 o'clock for the convenience of the central office staff that had to be here, so they wouldn't be out so late, particularly in the wintertime. But the key thing is, can you all make 6 o'clock?
It would be
Close.
tough for me. I mean, I can do, your a call in or something, but as far as actually physically being here, 6 is gonna be
Tough.
pushing it.
Could you do 6:30 or 7?
6:30? Would it 6:30 or 7
I
be?
mean, 7 would be, I hate it for central office staff on my behalf, but I mean, and then again, sometimes I'm far enough off that I still just have to call in, but the chances of being here at 6,
Slim.
very slim.
How about you, Daniel?
I'm, either way, it's fine with me.
Jeremy?
I can continue to pop my meds.
What's the preference of the board?
Actually,
Robin, because she's frowning.
6 is a good time, but
it's
we
not
got
for
used
Robin.
to it.
It's not a
Yeah.
good time for Robin.
No, it did,
And
it
I mean,
just-
whatever, almost what's best for everyone.
Well, we want you here.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
If the likelihood of Robert being able to make it at 7 goes up, then we should look at moving it to 7,
Okay.
but,
Maybe
It's kinda-
6:30.
Robin, how much is that going to upset you and your staff here? Yeah, well, that's why I say Robert needs to be,
I'm like
Here.
7-Eleven, I never close.
I believe that. Well, let's amend that, meeting schedule to reflect 7. And if something happened with Robert, we can always move it back.
And then the likelihood in the winter and the late fall months, that I'll be home a bit, so then that might be more of a possibility of
We can
making
do
it
that.
7.
So if you would make
Or
those
6, I'm sorry.
amendments that we go at 7 o'clock,
We'll look at that later.
we'll do that. I actually prefer 7 because I have a chance to get supper beforehand.
That's right.
And watch the
I'm maybe
WSBT.
fit, I don't get off till 5, so that's, yeah, okay. Any discussion on the administrative items? I just had one on the Title IX. Title IX has been in effect since 72, 78, something like that. This is just a part of a refresher of that policy, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, nothing new in that.
No.
And also would like to point out for the new board members that we employ the services of what's called Neola. We pay for their services. They pay attention to what the legislature does, and we have probably 100, 200 policies that drive us, and Neola looks after those policies, and when there's a change, they notify us, and we in turn will make the notation here and accept the newest policy from the legislative action. So that's a service that we have. Our staff doesn't have to always try to be on top of what policies passed and what it means. Neola does that for us. So this policy is a Neola policy. And there's one on public review. You can get on our website, go to the menu, go down to board members, and there you will see policies, and just click on the policies and you can see what's on public review. Need you familiarize yourself a lot with the county website that we have. Lots of stuff, and if you have questions, it can help you out a great deal. Anybody have any discussion on the administrative items? I'll just add one other thing, and it's not on here. We need to get your picture and a biographical statement So we can put that on our website as well. I don't know who does that here, but we need to get that done. So,
Look at it back there.
okay. All right. No other discussion. I'll ask for a motion in a second.
I'll make that motion.
Burns makes the motion.
Second.
Wilson seconds. To approve the administrative items, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us to the finance section. That's the white sheet in the back of your, these are just normally things that have been paid or are to be paid by the county for different kinds
This
of
is our
services.
checkbook.
They're all on purchase orders. They've gone through the proper procedure. Mr.
I
Austin,
always think this. is
Treasurer
gonna be the
Austin
high
is
school.
usually here, talk about these things if we have any questions, but
For anybody,
I don't know that,
it's
but
too torqued out here, look down the bottom of the first page there, Daughter and Company, $380,900.
yeah, I was looking at that.
That was done through, the remainder of our ESSER money. That's for the heating and air conditioning, renewal at Hamlin pre-K eight.
Okay,
That's just their payout. Their
how are they
payout.
coming on that?
They've got most of the units came in today, according to Jerry. So they'll have one wing done pretty soon. I don't know that they'll have both buildings done prior to the start of school, but they will have the, one of the buildings done. And they'll continue to work.
Any questions on finance? No questions. I'll ask for a motion a second to approve the finance items.
So move.
I'll
Wilson makes
second.
the motion. Burns seconds. All in favor for approved finance, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No one opposed. Brings us to the personnel section. That's the blue sheet. These are personnel actions, that we're approving to take place. Termination of these athletic positions. This is when we hire them every year and their certification
Correct.
expires. And,
These folks didn't get their paperwork turned in
okay,
prior to the meeting.
If
Now, they
they-
can still do it.
if they get renewed,
Yes,
that we will rehire them.
that's correct.
Okay.
Okay,
Any questions on personnel? Not, I'll ask for a motion a second to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Burns,
I'll second.
Cartwright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us to comments and concerns. Anybody have anything they want to bring up or talk about?
They were over there working on the track. I was over about 11 o'clock today. They were over there working on the track, doing the lining and all that.
I went by at 3 o'clock today and it looked like they had the whole track lined out. I don't know, what do they do after that? Put a sealer on it or
There's a
something?
sealer that'll go on it. And they may have when I was over there at 11, they had a measuring tape out and, a transit. So they may just be shooting lines and actually come back and paint them tomorrow. I'm not sure how.
No, they were painted
Okay,
today.
all right,
The lines were painted.
okay. Then they'll put a sealer on it. We will probably be good to go on it about Wednesday.
Frank, our ranger children. Have they been notified which school they're going to?
Peggy's putting that out. Matter of fact, we were working on
And
that.
buses, and times?
She's putting that out to give them, because some parents may change their mind and choose a different option once they see the busing situation.
Yes,
So she's putting it out 2 different ways. If you're a Ranger student, you plan to go on Guy Valley, here's how your West Hamlin, here's how your bus schedule will run.
yeah,
You're a Ranger student, you're going to Parks Brigade,
Yeah.
here's how your bus schedule will
Yeah.
run. So she's putting it out both ways for the same households, so they can make an.
now,
informed
when you
decision.
say putting out, do you mean we're gonna send a letter
There'll
to
be-
every
It'll
home?
be on, there'll be a letter.
And the
every home,
paper and
and the
everything?
paper And the
Okay.
website.
Okay, cause some of the people I know are concerned about that.
Yeah.
They've called me and wondered how they would know who went where.
Yeah, and then that way it gives the parents a little more informed decision on where they want to send their
Yeah,
child. They
yeah.
can look at it and say, well, I'd rather them go here looking at this bus route.
Yeah. Gives them a little foreknowledge before we actually hit the day we have to go.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I want to take this time and catch the two new board members up on a financial situation that we had and we still have taking place. I may have mentioned to you shortly that we came up, our tax estimates were going to hit us hard with about $600,000 to $700,000 loss in revenue because our tax assessments appraisals were down in the county. Well, the old board voted to send a letter to state tax commissioner and asking for an investigation into that. And they got back with me, and basically what occurred was a bad transition between the last assessor, the current assessor, and the last assessor. They were run against each other, and the previous assessor lost the election. There was no sit-down period for somebody, help somebody else in getting the transition going. So the new assessor, Mr. Limble, did the best he could in trying to get the assessment and appraisals in by January 1 to state tax department. It came out several $1 million short, 12 million in oil and gas revenues and 58 million short in class 2 and 3 properties. That reflects probably closer to $2 million that the Board of Education would not be getting. How we're going to, the money's still being collected by the county, but it's not earmarked to come to the Board of Education. It will be going to the county commission. I got in contact with Commission President Josh Stowers and talked with him briefly, but he's on vacation, and when he gets back, he and I and Mr. Lucas will sit down.
Is he new, David?
No,
He's been up there a while.
And tax department said they didn't think that the commission was really that aware that we had such a problem. Tax base being lowered. So we're going to try to get that ironed out and get that 2 million or whatever it happens to be back into our coffers. That will give us breathing room. If we take a $600,000-700,000 cut, we basically have no money for anything. So that's the big thing in front of us right now. And hopefully that will be worked out in the next 2 weeks.
Is there any indication that the commission has inquired about why they have an influx of money?
Well,
Or are they not aware of it?
the commission doesn't know they're going to have an influx. They got the same tax structure that we did, the figures. They know they were going to get less, that the tax appraisal was less, but they haven't made any inquiry in the state tax department as to why. But we just jumped the gun on them.
Good.
So,
Are they going to, Dave?
well, I think they will. I think in good faith, they will do that, but, we'll know in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's kind of either, and we have other recourses available to us to get that money. We have legal routes to go through, but I don't want to do that. I think we can reach a gentleman's agreement on this and get it taken care of. So it's the difference between feast and famine.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of where we sit at this point.
And we'll know, you think, in 2 to 3 weeks?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
It's something to bring the new board members up to speed on as well. We, last week or Thursday, 28th, voted to, renew the employee attendance incentive. And, we got some facts and figures in on that. We had, as far as employee absences and missed time in the classroom, by the incentive this year, we had between first semester and second semester, we had 1,158 less lost days of instruction compared to this time last year.
About the teacher.
By the teacher,
So it's working.
yes.
And it was kind of a wash with money. We kind of came out a little better than.
First semester, we were up about $7,000. The second semester, we didn't see as much because we also agreed back early in the year to do the $500 state match for service personnel.
Yeah.
So we paid that this time. So it actually, we ended up about, I don't know, probably about $750, $800 to the good this time, but it's about 7,000 per semester. So that way we're also not losing instruction. That's the important thing. We're
Yeah.
not losing instruction.
And we're gonna continue to do service personnel and professional.
We voted on that last week
Good.
to continue that. So the headline on that is that curriculum instruction is better off.
Oh, yeah.
That's the headline.
The kids are
That's
better off. The
everything to
students
say.
are better off because they're getting their regular teachers and regular service personnel. They're at the school much more than they have been.
Anybody have anything else?
I don't. Glad to be here.
Glad you're here.
Thank you all.
I'm glad you all are here.
I want to congratulate you all once again and tell you, I look forward to serving with you. I appreciate your confidence of the entire board on letting me be your president again. I enjoy doing it. Takes a lot of time, but I enjoy doing it.
Keeps it busy,
And,
never trouble.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Mosteller, since he's not on the agenda anywhere, making a motion or a second, I'm going to ask him to make the motion to adjourn.
All right, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Mr. Mosteller wants to adjourn.
I second.
Wilson
Cartwright.
seconds.
Oh,
The
I'm sorry.
time is 6:25. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
And then next week, we're at 7:00.
Yes, we're at 7:00
7:00.
next week, and it's all, this meeting is adjourned.
Y'all have